Yeah, yeah.
Did you feel that as well? Were you getting? Have you been sick from the energy?
No, I don't really get sick, you know, but not like physical sickness.
Yeah.
Neither one of us do really.
Oh my God, Tina was ill, I was ill, you know, my little boy, my youngest one, Matthias, he was ill.
Matthias?
Yeah, Matthias, the great. Matthias.
Yeah.
Matthias.
Matthias. Yeah. So yeah, let's see now.
The light! Follow the light!
Yeah. We're live, but let me pull up the
okay.
No, we're good. No, I'm gonna go pull it up on the phone so I can say hello to everybody.
Will you send it to my Facebook?
Yeah, I can do that. Hang on.
Oh, brilliant.
You want me to send it to your page?
My page, yes. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you.
Hang on, let's see. Share on a friend's timeline. Yeah, as long as 33 people in the house already.
Oh, hey, 33 people, but we can't see you.
No. I'm gonna pull it up here. Let's see. Okay, I shared it to your page.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you both for coming. Man, I'm digging Valentino's hair. Man.
Yeah, his hair is like, it's grown. It's got longer and longer in it, babe. Yeah, they come. Can you hear him from there?
Yeah, let's
Is it loud enough?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but if not, then we'll make an adjustment. All right, so let's see. All right, so we got a few people here. Pamela Johnson. Pamela Johnson's sister is going to come on.
Pamela Johnson. Hi, Pam.
Yeah, she's going to come on in 2.5 hours. A very incredible story. I'm not going to really talk about it a lot. I'm going to put the post up here in a little bit. But
send love, Pam. Sending love.
Yeah, Pamela's something else, isn't she?
I know. I love you.
She is a pillar. She's a pillar. Ria Iverson from Sweden. CC Franklin. Anne Scoglin's here. Paula Bartolomeu. Portuguese. Bom dia.
Oh, bon night for me.
Kathy Waldowski, Valerie Peterman. I don't know how to say bon night. How do you say it?
Good night.
Good night. Heather Houston's here. Naveen Kazar, Janie Hodges, Genia Gazda from Vienna.
Oh,
Donna Davin. Donna Davin's got no sound. If you have no sound, go out and come back in. Amir Makui, Bora Sintintas from Turkey.
Oh.
Suki Park from Florida. Elena Starbuck, my friend from Sedona. That's another pillar. She's a pillar.
Hello.
Juanita Barker. Yeah, Juanita Barker from South Africa. Sue Baxter Fitz. Yeah, CC Franklin. Yeah, you definitely want to get to know Pamela Johnson. Just watch her stuff. It's epic. Jackie Schofield, Michael Van Patten, MVP at Soulogy is here. Trish Riley, Kara Morris, Sherry Whiting from Canada. Amy Sunshine.
Oh, I love that. Sunshine.
Yeah.
How amazing is that? I'd love a Sunshine.
Alana Hartman as well. 55 people. That's Ascended Master numbers. Fred Housel's here. So, you know, I always like to, Diane Thomas.
Want to put it in?
Yeah, Paula. Well, it should be Paula.
Paula
from Portugal. She says it's Boa Noite.
Boa Noite, yeah. Hola, tudo bem?
Raquel Our heart's in Lebanon. We've got people from all over the world here. I mean, literally all over the world. So the reason I like to do this, and I know some of the guests cringe a little bit when I'm spending the first 5 minutes saying hello to everybody, because this is, the vortex is created by everybody here. It doesn't matter who's on the screen, and it doesn't even matter so much what's being said. The vortex itself creates a frequency, an ever-expanding vibration that we add additional frequencies to all the time, which is what the universe is, and that's what Soulogy is, just a mirror of the universe. So I'm just letting everybody know that you're an equal part of this, whether you're watching live or on the replay. All love, honor, respect, reverence for all of you. And I just want to say thank you to everybody, and also thank you for your continued love and support contributions. It's not easy doing this. It's a little rough sometimes, making ends meet, but everything helps. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of Morgan and I and everybody that allows us to keep doing this by the seat of our pants. So we've got our
pants on the beach.
No, I didn't have any pants on the beach.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was I forgot we were talking about that. So there's
yeah.
a lot of people still coming in, but so we have a really special show today, right? We have been trying, Morgan has been seeking to find young people to bring on because they are the teachers, right?
They are.
We might have opened some doors energetically and crossed some thresholds, but they are the teachers. I was shown this 8 years ago when I was given the name Soulogy. I was told you're going to have to bust your butt for till about 57, 58, which I'm 57 and a half now. And then the young people are going to come in and just take it over. And I think that's really just a mirror or a micro of the collective. So I think that's what's going to happen collectively. So we have a very special show. We've got our beautiful sister Ria Aurora from the moon, that big moon. What's it called? I can never say it. What's it called?
Ganymede or Ganymede.
Okay,
Depends
Ganymede.
what part of the world you're from, yeah.
Well, I don't know where I'm from. I don't even know what part of the universe I'm from. But yeah, Ganymede.
Yeah, Ganymede. Do you say Ganymede or Ganymede?
I can't even visualize the word. It'll take me a few more days to memorize it. But
oh, you think that's hard? You try and say the light language word for Ganymede. It's
say it.
Molanar Karnek.
Mola Karnek.
Molnar Karnek.
Molo Karnek. I can say that.
Like Karnek in Egypt.
Molo Karnek. Yeah.
Molnar Karnek.
Molar Karnek.
There will be an Egyptian understanding there. Karnek in Egypt. Yeah. But I mean that's a struggle and a half trying to say that.
So and Jupiter was been in. We've talked about this, but even over the last week, up until a couple of days ago, although I did see it last night, but it's been like huge, man. It's just been, like in my face, like Morgan and I had a what was that? So we went out to the beach about a week and a half ago, and some aspect jumped in me.
What?
Standing on the beach jumped in me. One of my aspects jumped in me.
Oh, an aspect. I thought someone jumped at you.
No, it was an aspect. Jumped in me, and I started like wanting to do all this stuff. I don't know what it was. It was like jump around her and doing all these gestures, some kind of coming out or something. But before it started, I was standing behind her, and we were aligned with Jupiter, and there was no other stars in the sky because the sun hadn't even gone down. It was when it was really bright. Yeah, that was a very powerful thing. So Jupiter had something to do with that, and got my sacred masculine testosterone going. I don't know.
Well, I remember I'll tell everybody who's listening, one of my dear brothers, Andreas, who might be listening in later on, he said, Ria, I don't know who Todd is, and yet for some reason I seen him on the ship with his wife Morgan in their astral form. And I was like, what? And he says, yes, this was this ship, the Aurora, which is parked just on the south side of Jupiter's moon, but towards the poles, is right up towards the poles. And he couldn't believe it. He said, who is that? Are they part of that? Because they look like they were just mingling in the lounge area.
Yeah, that's where you'd find me. In the lounge.
In the lounge. But he could see you and your wife, and you were talking to many different beings, and I have to share this with him one day. This was my vision. I don't really know. So, I mean, hey, we're getting about.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that's been coming in and happening. People have been saying things. Yeah, it's so today's a very special day. It's a very, very special day. We have this beautiful, beautiful creature, Valentino, your son, is going to join us today and talk about whatever we decide to talk about, whatever comes up in a conversation. It's not an interview, it's just a conversation. And we're very thankful that you're here because we're here to learn. We're open. for what you have to say. We respect and honor you. And we actually also want to say big props, as we say in the hood, big props for having the courage to get up in front of people and talk about this stuff. Because it's not easy being in front of a camera all the time.
Yeah, he's a little camera shy, but he's doing really well today.
Yeah.
Now, can you hear him, Todd? And can everybody hear him? Does he need to come closer? Yeah, you need to say something because they wouldn't know it. Otherwise, got to say something, Tino.
So how old are you, Valentino?
I'm 13.
13. Okay. So cool. So where do we start? I know when this started was on the show we did with you and your mom, and he had some things to say. So maybe we could start there, and go back to that, so anyone that didn't see it can kind of get a update on that, and we'll go from there. So,
about his dream, first of all, or about his perspective on the event?
Either or both. Let's do both.
Where do you want to start, Dan? Do you want to start with your dream or your perspective on what you feel? What's the event and how it corresponds with school and everything, because he's having a rough time at school at the moment.
Start the dream.
The dream, yeah. So look at the can you hear him, everyone?
Yes.
Go for it, Tina. Okay.
Where do I start? Wait.
About your dream. So you knocked on my door in the morning.
Oh, I woke up from a dream and I knocked on my door and I said to my mum, "Who's Saint Germain?" And then I explained this.
I said, why? Asking who's Saint Germain?
And I said in my dream.
Yeah, and he said, why?
Should I explain the dream?
Yeah.
Well, I was with nice. I don't know what it was. There was like nice mum, good mum, but she was sending me to bad mum so she can go somewhere for a bit.
So it's like two aspects of me he was seeing in the dream. One was a negative aspect.
Wait. So put the computer back to where it was a second ago.
Here?
Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah, because your voice wasn't coming through. So okay. So you're in this dream, and you have a good mom and a bad mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
So
are two aspects of me he was seeing. One was my higher self, and one was my ego.
Okay. So what happened?
So and then I got in. Mum just said goodbye. I'm gonna cut. I'm coming to camera.
I'm here.
So
Yeah.
I was
So I was leaving.
Oh, well, basically, I started in this just really old-fashioned, like, massive house. Like you was probably seeing a haunted house, like that kind of thing, like a normal haunted house. And I come in, and Mum says goodbye, and then she needs to go somewhere for a bit, and then I'm going to stay with the bad part of Mum for a bit.
My ego.
Yeah. So, and then I come in there, then the bad one was making me do a lot of work and a lot of cleaning and like making it all really hard on me. And then when she told me where I was sleeping, I got brought into this room where there was loads of these paintings on these like little stone like massive walls. And they were everywhere, like section by section by section. And in one of the things, I pointed at this picture, and it was like
There was a man in the picture.
In the picture, and it was like on a ship. And I said, "Who's that?" And then the bad part of Mum, for some reason, turned really like happy and kind of sad at the same time, and said, I can't remember what you said. It's something like that's Saint Germain.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got woken up.
In the picture, didn't I?
Yeah.
And then you were woken up
I got woken up by Mateus.
So basically, what he's saying is, in his dream, okay, he went into this room, and on the wall of this room were all these old-fashioned canvases of pictures, like
on stone walls, like
on stone
you see
walls.
on a like a caveman painting. It's like it's on like a stone wall, but like you see in caves, like little.
Okay.
Kind of like that, but you can
So-
still got colors in it.
Yeah. So they were painted on the wall, on the surface of whatever the wall was itself. Yeah. And so you saw Saint Germain.
So he went up to this one picture or painting, which he was like strikingly went up to it, and this is where he saw this man in this painting. Now describe what you've seen to everybody. What this man looked like.
Well, he was really tall, and he had like a big, like kind of beard with like round beard.
Round tots or
They're like proper like round, like my hair.
like your
And he had long hair, kind of like Ashtar,
okay.
but he went up to around his neck around. No, actually, I had quite long, didn't he? I can't remember. It was around up to the shoulders, around
So shoulders about here.
yeah, and he had it quite long at the back, but quite short there.
Okay.
But basically,
What colour was it?
brown.
Brown.
His hair.
His hair, yeah.
Yeah, brown.
Brown.
And he was wearing this suit.
What type of suit? Are we talking
No,
an
old school suit.
Put-
1500s?
Pull the computer back towards where you were again.
Like the 1500s. So he was seeing
Yeah.
this man with brown hair, brown beard, with this old school type of tunic on.
Yeah.
I would have said like 1500s. Is that right? Or a bit
18.
1800s.
1800.
1800s. 17 or 18?
18.
1800s. He's saying, and I said in the dream, that's Saint Germain. Pointed at
Yes.
him.
Yeah.
I said, that's Saint Germain. And
he
then-
completely changed. He
and-
went like all horrible, like just horrible, and then he just changed to nice.
Oh, so it was my ego and then my higher self. So by ego, higher self comes in and says, that's Saint Germain. And then Valentino wakes up and then he comes in my room in the morning. And that's when he says, Mum, who's Saint Germain?
Yeah.
And
So
I was
what-
like,
Yeah. So so Valentino, had you ever heard of the name Saint Germain?
Before the dream,
That was the first time.
that was the first time, yeah.
So did anything happen after that? I mean, did you get any other impressions or anything regarding Saint Germain?
I started getting like pictures in my head what he looked like.
Yeah.
say that again because I was coughing.
I got like loads of these images in my head what he looked like, and like when in a spacesuit and all of these like things he's wearing and like what like different styles he was doing. And then basically that's what
Wow. That's very cool. Have you tried to like close your eyes and like pull him up in front of you and ask him what's going on or whatever?
yeah, I've tried it before and it doesn't really work.
You saw the purple ray though, didn't you, when you were meditating
Mhm.
once? He was meditating. We were both meditating, and he said, Mum, I can see this purple energy, this purple ray coming down through me. And he remembered that. And I said, that could have something to do with Saint Germain. A ball of purple energy around him. So Valentino has a lot of the purple ray around him. I don't know if anybody on the call can see that, if anybody's intuitive enough.
Quiet Silva Born, thank you for the comment, said Saint Germain wants to give Valentino an ascended master attunement. So that could very well be what that ray was just more evidence of the attunement.
The
So-
attunement in that?
Wow.
Told, explain to him what an attunement means.
Hell, I don't know.
It's being attuning to the frequency and vibration of that
Yeah.
particular ray.
So, yeah,
You-
so basically, right? So let me put it this way, because I'm more in the Valentino. So it's like merging. Like we all learn from each other when we connect with each other, either unconsciously or consciously, and I believe that's how it all happens everywhere else. So basically, you picked up information, data, code from Saint Germain. You're obviously, you know,
Yeah.
related, some type of soul lineage or something going on there.
Yes, we found out a little bit later what that was all about. Why Saint Germain plays a massive role in Valentino's life. He plays a major role in the children's life anyway. Lots of training in the astral with the children and in the higher realms. But also that Saint Germain is an aspect of his higher self. Remember, one of, because we've got 12, but an aspect of Valentino's higher self.
Wow.
So yeah, plays a major role in him.
So and so now a couple of subjects on the table. Well, this is very fascinating. Thank you for sharing that. How you said you were having a little bit of trouble in the real, well, not the real world, in this movie that's going on at school. If you're okay to talk about it, I mean, because I know somehow it's related to what you've talked about and what you're going to talk about. So what kind of problems are you running into?
Well, there's loads of these kids, and like they're bullying me because I'm like fat, and they bully on my long hair because I prefer long hair, and they don't like that for some reason. So I'm being bullied, getting pushed, punched. Like I remember I was in maths, and this kid came up to me and called me fat, and I got angry, and then everybody came in a circle and started pushing me, shoving me onto the floor, and it's just been terrible since, and I can't. It's just really hard.
Well,
Finding it.
What's that?
Yeah, he's finding school in senior school or high school. It's tough, mate. It's tough.
So how are you dealing with that?
I'm trying to not think about it and get away from them. Just going to like certain areas in the school to try to get away from them. But they're always trying to find me and like bully me, and they're trying to bully my friends as well. Like they forgot to tell you, there were, you know, Dom.
Mm-hmm.
He's having a fight with Oscar, and he's having a massive fight right now, basically.
Well, this is the thing with the children. I mean, they're especially light worker children and starseed children and crystal and indigo. Well, no, that was a crystal rainbow children are really struggling to knuckle down in school. They're not dealing with the programs because they can see the programs. Other children are seeing that they're different. So Tino's very different in school. He's not like the kids who are into the programs, and that don't take offense, but there are some kids that are programmed, unfortunately, because of the parents or the belief system or whatever, or the way they've been brought up. A bully is always a father or a mother in a family or an older sibling. It's always the way. And unfortunately, Valentino's really taken a brunt of this, and because of his light and his different, but he does talk to his friends about the stuff that we talk about, don't you, darling?
Yeah.
What do they say? What are their reactions?
They're quite programmed as well because they don't believe it. I've explained everything to them as much as I can, and they just I said to them, how are we the only one species or beings on this whole like universe dimension and everything? There's so many more planets out there that has life on it, and I've explained that to them, but they don't believe me. I've tried everything with them.
And what is it, what barrier are you coming up against? What brick wall are you coming up with them when you talk to them about this?
What do you mean?
Like a brick wall. So you'll say, oh, it's this and this, and how could, about interdimensional life, yet they'll still shut you down and say no. Is it like is it just the programming you're seeing, or a fear, or what is it you're seeing in them? Why they won't accept?
Don't understand it.
They don't understand.
They don't understand. So so tell us about what your impression of the event is, what you think the event is, and what information has come to you.
Personally, I don't really know. It's mix and mix for me. I don't know if it's going to happen. I feel like it's not going to happen, and I feel like it is happening. It's two-sided, so it's 50-50, and it is really hard to think about. basically, I think it might happen, and just another half of me is like, it might not happen, and it's making me think, if I want to like do good in life, and then to get all the like GCSEs and all my jobs and that and exams, and trying to do my best. And the other part of me is thinking that, well, you don't really need it, that because there's going to be an ascension anyway. You don't really need all this education
and
jobs and all of that. They're just programming. And then my mind kicks in and I'm saying, well, I don't know if it's going to happen or if it's not, and it's making it so my brain go to spirals and I don't know what's going to happen. So personally,
it's your ego and your heart. But when your brain's telling you this, but what does your heart say?
I don't know. It's 50-50.
Do you think that others are going through that same type of conversation in their head, and that do you think that maybe we decide it?
Yeah.
The collective?
Yeah.
Wow. What about like nature? What about like trees, water, wind, sunshine, the moon? Do you pick up any vibrations or anything from that, or animals? That type of thing?
Yeah, when I'm in the woods, I feel free.
Yeah.
Bloody cough. Yeah. When you're in the nature, when you're by the trees.
Yeah, I just feel free, and like that. I feel like there's like, because like how I've been taught, like there's trees that they are real, and they are like kind of like people. They do have feelings. They do have thoughts, and they do live their lives and all. And I don't know, it makes me feel safe for some reason every time I'm in the woods.
Yeah.
Like it's winter and it's spring and all the leaves are falling down. It is really relaxing for me.
No.
Wow. Do you ever talk to the trees?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you hear them back?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
Is it more of a feeling, or do you actually hear words?
More than a feeling, and it just goes to your heart and brain, and you can feel the words as well, like what they're trying to say.
Wow. What about when it comes to other planets, galaxies or space, celestial, stars? Do you ever have that type of exchange or connection like you do with trees, with anything that's off planet?
Definitely Jupiter. Jupiter is one of my favorite planets. It's just I don't know, it's beautiful for me. Yeah.
What do you go ahead.
You're on as well, didn't you? Was it you?
No, because I saw it in the
Oh, yeah.
like Pluto, so.
What do you
yeah, go on. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, he always asks me, he always say, Mum, I love Jupiter. I've always resonated with Jupiter, and then he is mad on all the galaxies and stars and Sirius, aren't you? He loves Sirius, and he can point out to Sirius in the sky, because he pointed out that really bright star, and I said, oh, well, that's Sirius, and sometimes it's Jupiter. Now you can see Jupiter, so you do, don't you, darling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says he's seen Saint Germain as a galactic being.
Oh, in his like spacesuit.
In his spacesuit.
Oh yeah.
Well, so so back to what you were saying earlier about the event. So do you have some type of understanding or knowing of what you want to do with your life? Like, is there like a purpose? Do you feel like there's something you're supposed to do?
Help people to think about the truth and about what's going to happen and what really is out there about. There's so many more species, what they think, and trying to make them. There are like other species. There are goblins, elves, golems, everything.
Fairies,
yeah.
And dragons.
Dragons. Oof.
Loves dragons.
What was that?
He loves dragons.
Oh, dragons. Yeah. I can't hear you because you're off the.
He's got a dragon aspect.
Oh, he does.
Hmm.
What does that entail? What does that look like, Valentino?
Describe your dragon aspect. Black and purple, wasn't it?
It was purple, wasn't it?
Yeah, purple.
That one was purple. No, your one was like purpley gold. What was I?
Black, sorry, black and red.
You were black.
No, you was black and
black and red.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To share about trying to tell people which he is about our galactic family, and that there's so much out there, and even on the earth, that the elementals, but sometimes he's hitting a bit of a brick wall like us adults, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Don't feel bad unless you're talking to this group and you can talk about it. And trying to convince these other people is a little bit difficult. Some people just aren't ready. So let me ask you this. How old, I know you're 13 in human years, but how old do you really think you are? What do you feel like what you really are? Who you really are, how old you really are?
Wait, what is that thing what you always say, like trillion?
Oh, econs.
Econs. I think
econs, not eons. Econs old.
I think about 2,000 econs.
He says 2,000 econs.
Basically 2,000 trillion years old, I don't know.
Yeah. They can't hear you. Come a bit closer, love and say. He said 2 trillion econs. Like eons, just eons years old.
That sounds like a lot. I don't know what that is. That sounds like a whole lot. Do you ever try to communicate with aspects of yourself, like Saint Germain or the dragon?
Yeah, I've tried speaking to them. I find it really hard because I don't do that much meditating, but I do really try. And sometimes I get things, sometimes I'm not.
Times you have got things, that's what he's saying. What can you remember?
Really good feelings, like there is somebody protecting me and around me and people watching me and that.
And you of Saint Germain?
Yeah, I can see like pictures in my mind, and it's
Wow. And you haven't met anyone your age has the same experiences or understands at all?
like
any of your friends or anybody that's your age that you've run into that might be talking about the same thing? You haven't run into anybody?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, no, he's quite on his own, but these woods anyway.
Yeah. And so do you have like something that you like to do creatively? Like, is there anything that you like to do? Is there anything that you do to kind of express these experiences and these connections and these images and all that?
I don't know.
Drawing or art and things like that.
Yeah, I've tried that, but I'm not the best in it.
It was your mother, but if he could draw how we could see Saint Germain, that would be cool. I think you've try again, just keep trying.
Or you can write. I can't draw. I can't draw at all. But maybe to write it out, or I think a lot of people on this, like that are viewing this, live and on the replay, will tell you that when they try to express it, whether it be in writing or a painting or whatever the case is, that I think more comes to you. You remember more, and more comes to you. Yeah.
Dang.
Like a little
journal.
Journal. Yeah.
Yeah, journal. Yeah, journal. That I think that's helped a lot of people. A lot of people like that I'm referring to. Journal is a big big part of it. A lot of people have journals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you can go back and look at what you wrote and realize you're not crazy anymore. Because everybody will catch up.
Ships as well. You've seen a ship.
You've seen a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you see the ship at?
Should I explain the one when I was walking home?
Yes.
Okay. I remember I was walking home. I was walking home from school and I was getting near my house. And I don't really know how people saw it because I looked up and I can hear this really like noise and I felt the ground shaking. And I looked up and it was literally just a grey cylinder kind of like shape, but it was flat. And it was spinning really fast and I just felt the ground shaking and I was like, I don't understand. Can anybody else see this? Or was it just me? And then I was like, whoa, what's happening? And then I remember I was doing that and I was looking, like I was like moving my eyes to see I'm not like visually doing this and I'm not seeing things. And then when I did that one more time, it just disappeared out of nowhere.
Wow.
It was grayish white. It was like what you would normally see in a normal UFO, but it was massive. I don't know how anybody else saw it. It was just massive, and you could see these little, I don't know what it's like. You can kind of see like the legs of the ship. It was basically when it comes down and lands. You can see those, and like these little lights. Where it was like, I don't know, it was this red light.
How big was it, do you think? Like as big as a soccer field?
Oh, a lot bigger.
Oh, really?
Probably about 2 football fields long.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. So what do you, Valentino? So just your opinion. So what do you think is going to happen in the world that we share, you know, on Earth, to all of us? I mean, what world events? I mean, what do you think is going to be happening
in the future?
Yeah.
Oh, well, a lot will probably happen. We probably won't be using like engine, like fuel cars, what's destroying this world. We'll probably be like hovering cars, like hovering like cities or something like that, cities in the clouds. And then most of the beings will probably come down, like I don't know what. Yeah, and they'll come down, and then we'll make peace, and basically then it'll be like a normal area. It will just be free, and then none of this government, this money, loads of this things what are making lives a lot harder, and it will just be a free planet. Yeah.
Do you think that we'll call them the star family? Do you think the star family, or what people call ETs, whatever the inhabitants of these ships, like the one you saw, do you think that they'll be coming down and appearing in front of everybody, or just people on a individual basis?
Well, I think they'll come down when everyone is fully awake and understanding what will happen and is going to happen, and basically then they'll show themselves, and a load of these beings, I think all of them, probably any of them, can come down, because it's a free world, isn't it? So
Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So you think they will show up, basically?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, kind of 50-50 in there. So
how long do you think it'll be?
honestly, I think when people start gonna like wake up around 2020, because that's I don't know if it was like the year when because people are already starting to wake up now, hundreds ago, and like every second, and so I think around 2020 people will start probably seeing a lot more like UFO sightings. They're start coming down, and like people start and finally like called awaken, like so much more people start awakening, and we'll probably start getting over this government away, and then they will finally calm down and probably say they'll just come down and just be with us. Yeah.
Sarah Griffiths, who was an amazing lady, was on the other day, and she just made a comment. I want to ask you what you think about this. So she says, yes, they are already here. My daughter is an ET. Do you think that people or children being born are actually connected to the inhabitants of these starships?
Yeah.
Do you think that that's what you are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what does the word multidimensionality mean to you? Multidimensionality.
More than one?
Yeah. And how do you feel about the idea that you might have a whole bunch more than one of you?
Yeah.
Does that seem something that you?
Yeah, feels good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess in another way to put it is it possible in your mind that you could actually be sitting on a starship circling the Earth, and a part of you went into this Valentino, and you're actually in both places at one time?
Yeah. I can kind of see it in my own mind. I can see like what I can see from above on that I'm actually up on there. So yeah.
And so you feel like when you connect, or you talked about meditating, you said that you do feel like you've got protection around you, that type of thing, energy around you that's supporting you.
Yeah, I believe that like Saint Germain, myself from up top, is like helping me, watching over me, making some of my decisions, and yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so now, do you know what the word synchronicity means?
Not that sure.
Okay, so do you ever see like numbers? Synchronicity would be signs that kind of like speak to you, but not through words. Kind of like watching a movie. So they're kind of like markers in the movie that pull everything together, like a sentence, one sentence, and then you have another sentence, and it tells a story, and it's all pulled together. So let me give you an example. Like, do you ever see numbers like 1111, 5555, or other types of signs? Do you ever see signs just in your daily life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the question?
Just saying, he does. I said to him, have you seen those double numbers before? And he's like, you know, like 12, 12, and yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So what do you think about the word love?
Loads.
What is love?
Well, what do you mean, like by the symbols and like that?
No, just what does love mean to you? What is love? What is it?
Well, heart and feeling like amazing, feeling that there's somebody who loves you, and yeah, how basically just a good feeling that you have love around the family, something like that. Yeah, can't really think.
You love a pet and that. How do you feel about love? Like, you love our dog Alfie and your brother Mateus. That's what he's trying to say. What do you think about love?
I don't know.
Do you think love has something to do with what we call ascension? What's happening to the earth? Do you think does love have a part in that?
Yeah, because some people like hate aliens will come down. People think they'll do a lot of bad things, but we need to love them who they are and let them come down. They ain't gonna do anything. They're just gonna make it a better world.
Do you think that we have to give them permission for them to do that?
No,
No?
it's their choice.
Yeah. Do you look at it the same way as you're talking about these people who are afraid? Do you look at the bullies, the same way? I mean, how do you feel about them?
I just feel like one day they will understand. They will stop this and be a nicer person in general. So yeah.
What would you like for all the 100 plus adults watching this live? What would you like for them to know from the eyes of Valentino?
That we're not alone. I don't really know.
That we're not alone. And what do you think we need to learn that maybe the young people got and we don't?
I need to think about that one. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you another way. What do adults need to know that they might not know about children and teenagers today?
I don't know.
What about your
It's okay. I mean,
But there's loads of feelings of emotions that there are a lot of emotions that they're quite sacred.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Do you-
yeah.
So like young people, you had mentioned you had some of your friends. The bullies were picking on your friends. You have conversations with your friends. I know they don't understand some of the things you're talking about, but do you guys talk about things that hey, my parents don't understand me, or maybe in regard to these sacred emotions?
Not really. They're not really that open about all of those things. I try to tell them it's all fine. It doesn't matter if there's anything bad happening. But they never tell me about really anything. They like to keep it a secret.
Yeah. If you were running the entire world, what would you do?
Make it a free world, make it all loving, no government, no money, just make it free.
Yeah. Very cool. And do you think that, okay, so the star family will come down and obviously have a relationship with us. Do you think that the fairies and the gnomes and the dragons will make an appearance too?
Yeah, well, loads of the fairies and gnomes are already on this, just hiding away from the people. And yeah, they'll just come down and say, yeah, I don't know, like they'll probably start showing us love and thank you to me. Yeah.
How do you think these different members of the universal family that we're talking about, the galactics and the elementals, the fairies and such, what do you think they think about the human species?
That, well, some of them can be quite scary, and they need to like stop and understand that they ain't gonna do anything. And I don't know really what else there is. That they need to. I don't know. Yeah, be more of yeah.
All right, it's good. Let me ask you another one. And thank you for your patience. So if you just pictured in your head, you know, with your eyes open or closed, doesn't matter. Picture in your head, you, Valentino, at, I don't know, my age. What do you think Valentino at my age, which would be in the future, right, would have to say to you today?
I don't know. that everything will be fine, and all this will just go over, and lots of things are going to come down, and you'll feel all these emotions, start going through things, learning, and just be safe and be fine, and try your best at everything you could do.
Yeah. Do you think that it's possible? I mean, if you can connect with Saint Germain, you can connect with fairies, dragon. Do you think you can connect with your future self?
Definitely, yeah, probably. You just need a little bit, like, try a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense, right? It makes sense with this multidimensionality, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So I really appreciate you doing this. I know it wasn't normal or easy, but you're not normal. You're extraordinary. So don't, most of the people, if not all the people that are watching, were told they were crazy. They were told they were crazy. So you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone at all. So just keep your head up and keep loving the way you're loving, and that's the best thing you can do for all of us.
Yeah.
He's it's hard for him being a child in this matrix, especially when you're awake child in this matrix. It is hard for him because you know, he tells me all the time, you know, that they're not listening to him and they're still bullying me, and the other kids, my friends, they just don't listen to me. But I said, don't worry, just keep going.
Yeah.
One day they will listen to you. That's your role, your mission, and they will listen to you. They will. He said he's had was it that when you said that you had that vision, or was it me, or was it that you're gonna, when a big flash is going to happen in the sky and all the children are going to be a little bit worried, and I said that, well, you're going to be there to tell them it's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Yeah. Listen.
That everything is going to go. Everything's going to feel weird, and everything's going to be feeling different, and people like my friends, and they'll be like, what is going on? I don't know what's happening. People start being scared, and I'm probably going to try to help them and make them understand that there's nothing to be worried about. Just be happy and just try to stay happy as this is all going through, and all the wave is going to go through, all the flash. Many people think there's different things, going to be waves or flash. I'm not sure, but I just say just stay with it and try to be happy when this all happens, or flash is going to happen, or the wave is going to happen. So yeah.
Here's another question from Pamela Johnson. She says, did Valentino see How to Train Your Dragon 3? And then she put a note, it is that time.
I've watched the first one, not the other ones.
Pamela.
Yeah, from Pamela Johnson.
Watch the first one. I know what Pamela's on about. I love that film.
Well, evidently, I guess there's a third one.
Yeah.
But she's saying, and you know, Pamela's got great intel, but she's saying it's time, whatever that movie is about, she's saying it's time, kind of like you'll get it, you'll understand. How to Train Your Dragon 3. I should look for some more questions. Let's see here. Everybody is very supportive of you and very honored that you're speaking to us. You're such a blessing. Thank you, sweet Valentino, and so on and so on. You can bet you're probably going to get a bunch of friend requests if you have a Facebook. Now, Valerie Peterman asked, but we already covered this in the beginning of the show about the flash or about the event, and you just talked about it a little bit now. My question is, do you, because you said it could happen, it may not happen, and it may be happening every moment. Which one, if you had to choose one, which one would you think it is for you, from your own truth, your own knowing, your own heart?
Well, I would like to think probably the Flash will happen and everything will go to good, and yeah, basically everything to go free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wish it will just be, yeah. Yeah, I wish the Flash will or wave will happen, yeah.
Very cool. All right. We got 100 people in the house, 100. That's got to mean something. So I want to thank you for coming on, Valentino. You're very brave. And maybe we can do it again sometime if you get some more connection or images or visions or communion. Just you stay with it. Talk to the dragons, talk to Saint Germain, talk to your future self, talk to the trees, talk to the fairies. Some of them are pretty hot. Yeah, you know.
Fairies are hot.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a bunch of them one time up in the mountains in Arkansas in the middle of the night.
Oh.
Yeah, I went for a swim. They all lit up the whole pond.
Oh.
They were hot. I was single. I was single then. Well, I was already taken, but anyway, I just looked. I didn't, try to kiss them or anything. Another comment from Pamela Johnson. Quiet Silva Born says you have at least 7 divine light frequencies that can be activated. She's offering to do a session.
Oh, yes.
Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, Pamela. Pamela says that wave will be the mass awakening. Patience until then. So much love to my brother of Saint Germain's family. So she recognizes, and everybody recognizes who you are. I just want to say thank everybody for coming in for something different. I know Morgan's on top of this, and she just sent me a message a while ago about some kids 13 to 19 that actually have an organization going on.
Oh, okay.
We're going to keep trying to get young people on here because we have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And so
it's that inner child, isn't it? Because we're trying to bring out the inner child in us.
Yeah.
And this is that child, and there's other children who are crystal children who are awake, dealing with children that are not awake. And I don't like to say not awake, but realistic. The stories that Valentino tells me, they're not.
No.
Some children are not. They've come to this planet and they're not awake, but some children are. And I'm a mother, and that's just my perspective, because I hear everything every day from him. And he's like, Mum, they're not awake. And I'm like, I know, darling. So.
Well, those like Valentino will change that in time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep plugging away. Keep riding your dragon, man.
And it's funny how he said to me, Mum, Saint Germain, he said, Mum, when I see him here in my third eye, he doesn't look like he does in those pictures.
Online when you will see them, it looks nothing like that.
Yeah.
I said, well, what does what you describe what he looks like? So tell them what you see, darling, in your third eye.
Basically he has, I've already explained this and everything. He had a kind of biggish beard, not that massive, it was just around.
Perfectly trimmed, you said, wasn't it?
It was kind of like that, yeah. It was just like, just normal beard.
Yeah.
And he had long hair up to around his neck, is around there. And
what colour was it?
Brown.
Brown.
His hair and his beard was colour brown, and he was really tall. And then he's got a suit on. He's got the what's that suit called? What Ashtar has?
Well, what did it look like to you? Was it blue, silver?
It was blue. It was blue, and then like the things like the rims like we would normally get onto the t-shirts. That was like gold. It was golden.
Yeah.
And that's it basically.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Funny, he just came out and said it to me, Mum. I said, when I was showing him pictures of Saint Germain, because he said, who's Saint Germain? Show me these pictures. But, you know, so I said, right, I'll go online. I'll show you what people have interpreted. There's many aspects to him, remember, as we do know them.
Yeah.
So what Tina was saying, Valentino was saying, well, yeah, but Mum, I don't see him like those pictures there. I said, well, how do you see him? And that's how he said he sees him in a galactic form. So that was interesting. That's interesting.
I think there's more to come.
Yeah.
I think now that this connection's made, I have a feeling, knowing the Soulogy consciousness, that this is just the beginning. So let's stay open to that. Keep riding that dragon. Keep loving the bullies. And on behalf of everybody, I just want to say thank you, Valentino, and thank you, Ria.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
I'll see you in the lounge on the spaceship. I'll be drinking
on the Aurora. Yeah.
I'll be drinking some angel dust.
Well, they have something called the nectar of Isis up there, or the elixir of Isis, and it's a high vibrational drink, and they knock that back. Trust me, because I know I've been there knocking it back with them.
Yeah.
I thought they do get drunk up there, don't they?
It's not like drunk like it is down here, darling. It's a flower. It's a nectar, and it's a very rare flower. It's found on many other planets, and I believe it's found in the inner Earth, but not on the outer Earth. And how they create it into elixir, I don't know, but it's like a silvery gold liquid, and you just drink it, and it's quite warm on the palate as it comes down your throat, and it's like,
we'll get up there tonight in Dream State, and we'll try that out. I think they're having a happy hour. Okay.
Happy hour.
So we'll see y'all. You take care.
Thank you. And I want to thank everyone for their love, their support, and their light. Thank you from me, and thank you from Valentino, and thank you from our brother here. And just, thank you, and share, isn't it really? Put it out there, that the kids are, they're waking up. Yeah.
That ain't right. That's right.
All right. Thank you so much. Say bye.
We'll see you.
Bye, guys. Bye.